you're having good performances, and it's not translating in the win column. So, what is that like when you're kind of trying to keep everybody motivated and encouraged and feeling good about what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's just part of the process. I keep talking to our guys about consistently good and occasionally great, and it just takes. Sometimes things take time, and football is it's just really a good example or metaphor for life. I mean, you can have everything and do everything possible to be successful. You can take all the right steps, do all the right things during the week, and things may not work out. You know what I'm saying? It's just you got to just keep it pushing. And our guys are a good group. And first, it starts with our guys and their relationships, and they're playing for each other. And we really try to instill that in our guys. So it's really not about what's happening, and if anything, it's building more resiliency for our guys. We're still having good practices. Our guys are continually moving forward and understanding the system a little better. And we want to win. That's the purpose of. That's why we play. We compete to win. And there's no moral victories or anything like that. And so we feel the same way at the end of a loss. And the reward is winning. So those are going to come if we continue to do things right.
Has it felt just a lot of bad luck with the inopportune injuries and not generating turnovers when you probably should be for the amount of pressures that you're getting and stuff?
Yeah. And again, if there was, if I had the right answer, the magic trick to you start getting the turnovers, start getting the wins. If there was one thing, I mean, that's what we constantly search for, is maybe just to get one advantage or one snap or one situation where we can either predict what they're going to do and be in the right call, and then you got to get all 11 guys doing the right thing together and playing confident in that call. So it really is a process, and I know it may seem easy, and and some things you just turn around. Hey, just turn it around. That's what you're that's what you're supposed to do. But the reality is there's a lot more that goes into it. And it's all these little things that we can control. As long as we control everything we can control, then the predictability for wins is going to be much higher.
You guys are really, really thin at linebacker, obviously. And what can you say about McCullough? Really stepped up Saturday, and now you really need him. And what can you say about maybe the role he's going to have now? Yeah, I mean, not only Caleb, but like James Junkum and Kavion Thunderbird, and Tate's been consistent all year, but he's fighting. He's fighting through some. He's been fighting through to stay healthy, and all those guys. I mean, they come to work every day, and they just do the right things, and they follow the process, and they continually get better, and eventually, their better is going to be better than the guy that they lined up across, from them, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to be completely prepared, and those are the type of people those are the type of guys just foundationally that you want to build your program on.
And then with Shamari too. Obviously, playing, he can obviously play and make plays, but just playing what he's playing through. What do you feel it says? To the secondary and the rest of the defense.
Yeah, he's a great example of a guy who just loves football, and he comes to work every single day, and he's you can tell he just loves being out there. He loves his teammates, and he's really, again, another guy that you just build everything on. And he leads by example. He doesn't say a whole lot, but he's a guy that you just really trust, and his teammates trust.
Yeah, Colorado likes to try to generate athlete advantages in the passing attack. So, what are some of the challenges presented by that?
They just do a great job of using every inch of the field, and wide and deep, and this quarterback can make all the throws, and they have receivers that complement each other. They got the quick guys who can get open in space. They got the long speed guys who can generate deep balls and stretch you vertically. So they're going to line up in wider splits. They're going to get condensed splits. They're going to motion from wider splits to smaller splits. So they really have an identity on offense, and they're going to go faster than anybody in the country. So they're going to challenge us to get lined up. They're going to challenge us to be able to communicate and be able to execute our defensive calls, especially situationally. And it's going to be a challenge for us. Yeah, it's going to be rough.
And Coach, being without Travion Brown is obviously difficult, but to see him out here on the sidelines, bringing the energy every day, and maybe potentially acting as a player coach, how important is that to you?
Yeah, having guys like that, and he's such a great example in the 9 months that he's been here. just in terms of how to carry yourself, on and off the field. But his leadership on the field, getting guys lined up, being able to close our defenses and our coverages and our fronts, and being able to communicate adjustments has been invaluable for us. So we've had other guys step up. We had guys step up in the game on Saturday and play good defense at the end of that game and give our offense a chance, to drive at the end of the game. That's what we're going to expect this week. And like I said, the challenges that offense gives us is very different than what we've seen so far up to this point. So it's going to be a great test for us. But we're going to be ready for them. I mean, we really are. So it's not an offense that I'm unfamiliar with, and and me and the offensive coordinator have history together, and we work together at 2 different spots, and so just being familiar with each other, I think there's going to be a lot of chess match to it too, and yeah, it's going to be good to see him.
How many late night football conversations have you guys had over the years?
Not many. Not many. I mean, he moved on. He ended up being a head coach at another school, and I stayed at Syracuse. And but no, we had a good relationship. We had a good an office right next to each other at Bowling Green, and we've talked a lot. We've been on many car rides together. It's going to be good to reconnect with him.
With the tempo with which Oregon plays and with your depth being a little bit thinner, what sort of things are you trying to do to prevent, potentially the defense hitting a wall late in the fourth quarter and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, that's their goal. That's their goal, is to be able to win the fourth quarter, get you tires so they can score a bunch of points in the fourth quarter. So, we're trying to simulate the tempo. I mean, obviously you do the best you can to simulate that tempo, and and really it's going to be just, it's really going to be about all 3 phases. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure Coach talked about that, and it's really going to take everybody to win this football game. So if we got to rely on some guys in the fourth quarter that maybe haven't played as much, we're trying to get those guys ready as well. So,
Coach, their running back number 3 has had versatile skills both outside the backfield, receiving and rushing last week, especially against USC. How are you trying to account for his versatility and ability to do damage in space? Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to simulate that kind of speed, that type of dynamic ability. So I mean, it's really, again, they got a good football team. They got they got great personnel, but at the same time, they got a really clean system that they're running on offense. But it's about us defensively. It's about us being able to execute. Keep the ball in front of us when we need to. Show pressure and bring pressure when we need to. And when we got to be sticky on routes, we got to be sticky. When we're going to play loose coverage and play bend but don't break, then we got to keep the ball in front of us and be able to tackle in front of us. So it's really about us executing our game plan and getting everybody to do their 111th, and if that happens, we'll play solid.
Thanks, Coach.